Hey everyone, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, it's What Makes This Song Great, episode 88. The band is Karnivool and the song is Goliath. Coming up next. Goliath is off Karnivool's second record entitled Sound Awake, which was released on June 5th, 2009. For those of you not familiar with Karnivool, they're a five-piece progressive rock band, progressive metal band from Australia. And they've really been around since the late 90s, but their first full-length came out in 2005, which was entitled Thermata. That's when I first heard of them. This particular record is one of the best-sounding rock records that you will hear, and this song is absolutely massive. It was produced, engineered, and mixed by Forrester Saville, who's a great engineer, producer, mixer. And the song is probably the most complex song that I've done in any of the episodes. The meter of the song is 27/4. 27/4? What? Yes, it's an incredibly complex song to count. But I'm going to show you how to do that. And I want to talk about all the really interesting parts in it. It's got a beautiful melody, everything. Let's check out the intro. Drums. Bass. Before we go on, let me talk for a second about that incredible bass tone. I just showed a clip of the bass player John Stockman playing on his Warwick bass. That's actually from an ad for Dark Glass Electronics. They have a pedal that you've seen me use on my channel before. It's the Alpha Omega pedal. And the Alpha side, this knob all the way to the left, is a recreation of Goliath. Now, I asked Forrester at the time how they got the bass sound. And it was a combination of John's pedals, bass amp, things like that. And the bass and drums were tracked live. When I solo the bass track for you, you're going to hear the drums bleeding, and it's pretty amazing. But this tone is also created by John smacking the strings against the frets. That sound can really only be made by having the right tone and playing with that kind of technique. That's really a signature of John's sound. Next, let's talk about this 27/4 drum groove. Let me solo the drums. Those drums sound absolutely phenomenal. You hear all the ghost notes. They sound totally natural, roomy. That's how a drum set should sound in a room. Okay, 27/4 is what Forrester had when he sent me the Pro Tools session. But I think it's actually easier to count with 3 bars of 7/4 and a bar of 6/4. But within those bars, there are some different divisions that happen. And to make it even more confusing, the kick drum begins the phrase on an upbeat. As a matter of fact, there's mostly upbeats in here, except for where the snares hit and where the hi-hat is. The hi-hat actually informs you that the kick drum comes in an upbeat. And you can tell that because the accents in the hi-hat. That's a common hi-hat pattern to play on the drums, is to accent the strong beats. Now, I added a 1-bar click track as a count-off so you can see that the first kick is actually on an upbeat. Listen. 2, 3, 4, up. In the first phrase, the snare is on 2, just like a regular backbeat, but then 6. The second phrase, the snare is on 2 and 5. Okay, well, listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, there are some extra accents like that, but the main snare hits are on strong beats there, okay? So it's going to alternate 2, 6, 2, 5, 2, 6. And then in the 6/4 bar, it's 2, 5, and on the 5, the kick and snare hit together. It's very confusing, but check it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the bass enters there. Okay, so that's your 27. Now I'm going to count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But at the end of that bar of 6, that last kick drum makes it confusing because you don't have that downbeat, because that's the beginning of the new phrase, right? So this is what is so confusing and so cool about this drum part. To dig a little deeper into this, I'm going to bring my good friend Jack Jones in to talk about Steve Judd's drum part in a little bit greater detail. Here's Jack.
Probably the coolest thing about this groove to me is the way that it orchestrates that very asymmetrical and interesting rhythm that the rest of the band is playing. He does this primarily with where he's placing his snare drum notes. It just gives almost an answer to that rhythm. Another component that you'll hear in the groove is that he's playing a lot of ghost notes. That's a really cool technique that we can use where we're playing really soft notes on our snare drum with our left hand primarily to create this layered and textured effect. So those are ghost notes. Another really cool thing that he does that I noticed in all the videos I watched is all of these upbeats that they have. Rather than play those with his right hand, which would probably be what most drummers would do, he's kind of throwing his left hand around, which it looks cool, but I think it also contributes to the momentum, not stopping the momentum, even though there's all of these kind of syncopated feeling rhythms. He's just kind of throwing his left hand there while he keeps his right hand steady.
Next, let me solo the bass and drums together. Another great thing about the track, like I said before, is that the bass and drums are played together live. How can you tell? Because you can hear the drum bleed in the bass mic. Let's listen to the bass soloed. The use of room mics in Forrester's production really gives the space to the band and makes it sound much more realistic. Next, I want to talk about the guitars, the melody, the vocals, and the arrangement, getting into the meat of the song. So it starts out with this effect guitar and feedback. That effect guitar sounds like it has a flange on it. And then when the guitar enters with the drums, it's just a single note. When the bass enters, unison. That last chord, the bass goes up, so they're playing in C sharp, the bass goes up a half step, and then the guitar plays this voicing, which is an inverted G sharp diminished chord, which is really cool because it gives it a lot of tension there, and then it drops back down when the vocals enter, right here. Let's talk about Ian Kenny's melody here. So it begins on the root C sharp, jumps right up to the fifth. Now check it out. Back to the root. Then it jumps up to the flat 6, flat 7, 5th, 4th. Now think about that melody when you have these notes. That flat 6 there gives it a real melancholy feel. You're still not sure what scale this is because we don't have enough information. We don't know what the third is in it. And let's see if he actually sings anything in the second half. Listen. Okay, he's still using those same notes. He's going flat 6 to 5. Listening onto the second phrase. Lands on the tonic then. Really beautiful. So he's going, then drops down to the flat 7, then way up to the flat 6. Those interval jumps are really beautiful. That's just incredibly good melody writing right there. Listen to the guitar. Okay, so this guitar right here that the guitarist, I believe it's Haas that's playing this, is playing the flat 6, 5 major third. So you hear that it's some type of a major. Let's listen on. Oh, beautiful. And then the chorus. That is so beautiful. I mean, that's an incredibly good change right there in the melody and in the guitars. Let's check them out. On the downbeat of the chorus. Now this won't take long. We'll rise up again and rewrite these wrongs. Okay, so that is just amazing there. So it has this triumphant rise to C sharp major. It's the first time we've really heard that a major sound, major or minor. And you hear that really high third on that. You hear the F way up high on the guitar. I think it's Haas playing the guitar. Let's check it out. Some great stuff happening there, right? So you have that, you can hear the high third there, a major chord there, but you're hearing, then you hear it go down to minor, C sharp minor, to that sus sound, and then you hear. Really beautiful. Let's listen to it again. And the other guitar. That other guitar in the left speaker. Beautiful. The vocals also state that C sharp major sound. Listen. So it's going. There's that major third. Root third, fourth, fifth, and then goes to the fourth, but it's really changing to a C sharp minor sound, right? And then there's it's a beautiful change. It's like a C sharp sus to C sharp major, but you have B in the bass, right? It has a flat 7. It's flat 7. Let's listen to it again. And then, that's amazing. The vocal jumps from the C sharp way up to the B, a minor 7 interval jump. And that really makes the melody powerful. Then it drops back down to the 5th of the C sharp. And then, next we're on to the second verse. Starts the same way. You have that sustaining note, the 7th over it. little bit more intense texturally. Bringing back those guitars from the intro. Then, chorus. You notice the vocals are doubled here in the chorus? Listen.
You won't have to wait long. The show will begin and pave way for the fall.
They have some distortion on them to cut through the heaviness of the mix, too. Listen again inside the mix.
You won't have to wait long. The show will begin, pave way for the fall.
Great drum fill here. Listen to this. I love the kick drum under the fill. Really intense verse here. Then the riff. Love those. So heavy. So it goes into a 3 pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bam, bam, bam. I love the guitars during this bridge section. Right here. Beautiful major and minor triads in the guitars, right? I love the back half of the bridge here. There's a great bass fill. Listen. It's like a tuned down Geddy Lee. Let me solo it for you. Listen. In context. Beautiful. Oh, I love that C sharp major 7 that comes in here. Then it goes to C sharp minor 9. Awesome. Beautiful. Next, we have the beginning of what I would call the coda. It's really a breakdown section that has a killer drum fill that leads into it. Listen. Listen in context. So it has a riff figure over this tom snare figure. And just keeps building. Bass returns in there. And this is like a vocal refrain from the chorus. High guitar. now, please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. If you're a first-time viewer, don't forget to ring the bell. Very important. If you're interested in the Beato book, go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. That's how I support my channel. You can buy mugs there, t-shirts, anything to support the channel. Follow me on Instagram at rickbeato1. Check out my new Beato Ear Training course. If you go to beatoeartraining.com, watch the introduction video. And if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. Thanks so much for watching.